and it's Anne's grandfather's Bible. So we use it for the wedding, we use it for the inauguration. I think it's going to stick. Madam Chief Justice, Governor and Mrs. Davis, Governor and Mrs. Schwarzenegger, esteemed members of the Senate and the Assembly, constitutional officers, distinguished guests, fellow Californians, thank you for joining me today. And Governor Schwarzenegger, thank you also for your courtesies and help in the transition and for your tireless efforts to keep California the great exception that it is. This is a special moment as executive power passes from one governor to another, determined solely by a majority vote. It's a sacred and special ritual that affirms that the people are in charge and that elected officials are given only a limited time in which to perform their appointed tasks. For me, this day is also special because I get to follow in my father's footsteps once again. In 36 years after my first inauguration as governor, even follow in my own. Then, in 1975, it was the ending of the Vietnam War and a recession caused by the Middle East oil embargo. Now, as we gather in this restored memorial auditorium dedicated to those who died in World War I, it's our soldiers fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and our economy caught in the undertow of a deep and prolonged recession. With so many people out of work and so many families losing their homes to foreclosure, it's not surprising that voters tell us they're worried and believe that California is on the wrong track. Yet, in the face of huge budget deficits year after year and the worst credit rating among the 50 states, our two political parties can't come close to agreeing on what the right path forward is. They remain in their respective comfort zones, rehearsing and rehashing old political positions. Perhaps that's the reason why the public holds the state government in such low esteem. And that's a profound problem, not just for those of us who are elected, but for our whole system of self-government. Without the trust of the people, politics degenerates into mere spectacle, and democracy declines, leaving demagoguery and cynicism to fill the void. The year ahead will demand courage and sacrifice. The budget I propose will assume that each of us who are elected to do the people's business will rise above ideology and partisan interest and find what's required for the good of California. There's no other way forward. In this crisis, we simply have to learn to work together as Californians first, members of a political party second. In seeking the office of governor, I said I'd be guided by three principles. First, speak the truth. No more smoke and mirrors on the budget, no empty promises. Second, no new taxes unless the people vote for them. And third, return as much as possible decisions and authority to cities and counties and schools, closer to the people. With your help, that's exactly what I intend to do. The budget I present next week will be painful, but it will be an honest budget. The items of spending will be matched with available tax revenues, and specific proposals will be offered to realign key functions that are currently spread between state and local government in ways that are complex, confusing, and inefficient. My goal is to achieve greater accountability and reduce the historic shifting of responsibility back and forth from one level of government to another. The plan represents my best understanding of our real dilemmas and possibilities. It's a tough budget for tough times. When dealing with a budget gap in the tens of billions, I must point out that it's far more than waste and inefficiency that we have to take out. Yes, government wastes money, and I'll be doing a lot about that starting this week. But government also pays for things that most people want, and that are approved only after elected representatives debate their merits and finally vote them into law. They cover the spectrum from universities, parks, healthcare, prisons, income assistance, tax incentives, environmental protection, firefighting, and much else. But choices have to be made and difficult decisions taken. At this stage of my life, I've not come here to embrace delay and denial. In reflecting on our difficulties, my thoughts turned to those who preceded me and what they faced and what they were able to accomplish. My father, who took the oath of office as governor 52 years ago, his mother, Ida, born on a ranch in Colusa County in 1878, and her father, August Schottman, leaving Missouri in 1852 and traveling across the plains to Sacramento. I tried to imagine the difficulties my great-grandfather confronted as he left Germany and came to America, and then across the plains and over the Sierras into California. Let me read from the diary that he kept during his long trek westward. On the 26th of June, we came to the first sand desert. It was 41 miles. We went there at night and rode 19 hours in it. On the 26th of July, we came to the second large plain, also 40 miles long. Here we lost 7 oxen, which died of thirst. Thousands of cows, horses, and mules were lying about dead. The discarded wagons by the hundreds were driven together and burned. We saw wagons standing that would never be taken out again, and more than 1,000 guns that had been broken up. Here on this 40 miles are treasures that can never be taken out again. We can only imagine what it took for August Schottman to leave his family and home and travel across the ocean to America, and then across the country, often through dangerous and hostile territory in a wagon train. But came he did, overcoming every single obstacle. Yet he wasn't finished. After a few years, he went back to his homeland and found a wife, Augusta, and brought her with him, sailing around the Horn and up the coast of South America back to California. Their granddaughter, my Aunt Connie Carlson, is here with us this morning. This March, she'll be 99. Aunt Connie, would you stand up? By the way, those who are hankering after my job, it may be a while, so relax. God willing, the genes are good. I won't say any more. You can only imagine what it took for August Schottman to leave his family. No. That's what you get when you ad lib. All right. But here's the point. It's not just my family, but every Californian is heir to some form of powerful tradition, some history of overcoming challenges, much more daunting than the ones we face today. From the native peoples who survived the total transformation in their way of life, to the most recent arrival, stories of courage abound, and it's not over. The people of California have not lost their pioneering spirit or their capacity to meet life's challenges. Even in the midst of this recession, Californians this year will produce almost $2 trillion of new wealth, as measured by our state's domestic product.